Hi there, and welcome back to the pole barn estimate video number 6. Okay, where we left off is we're getting ready to generate the actual drawings for all the specifications that we had selected in the form for a pole barn. And I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And then now the progress bar takes off, and behind the scenes, this is drawing an entire set of plans. Not only an entire set of plans, but it's also generating a cut list, all your logger views, material list, a pole list for your yard foreman to use to build the load to send out, along with many others reports. I think that you'll be very impressed with what we have here. It takes about a minute and a half at the most here on a newer machine. So when you get good at this, you'll be able to fly right through an estimate in a fair amount of time. I would say 3 or 4 minutes. You could be through doing one by hand instead of using a template. And then by the time you put your door openings in, and let's say you spend another 4 or 5 minutes, and then push the button, and a minute and a half later, so within 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, as a beginner, you'll have an estimate done. Not just a material estimate, but an entire set of plans. And this part right here takes a little bit of time when you get to about 74, 75%, because it starts talking to your printer. So Excel starts talking to the printer. There it goes. It's setting page layouts. It's doing a bunch of stuff in here. And hopefully we don't run out of RAM while we're doing the video. It's kind of acting a little weird right now because of it. You can see when we click back here, it won't take long. It's almost done. It's going to pop up to the quotation page here in just a moment. Should be coming up here any second now. It's a thinking. There it is. Okay, so it pops up. All right. So what we've got here is we've got your logo at the top. We've got all the specifications to this building, who the customer is, who the contact at the lumberyard is, the type of construction, the dimensions, all of the specifications down here. Now I have the labor module turned on, so we're going to turn that off. This is what a user would see if they were just selling the kit. They'll see the subtotal with tax, grand total, how long the price is good for, the date of the quote, and the estimate number. Okay, but no shopping list. Now notice up here at add-ins, remember, so if you get lost and you get clicking on something else up here and you're like, oh my goodness, where's the stuff for Maestro? It's in the add-ins tab. So you click the add-ins tab, you come over here, return. You're going to love return. Return has a lot of stuff built into it. Notice here when you hit return, I can go down to any one of these and I can hit material list. And notice we got a really nice categorized material list here. Okay, great for the end user, they love it. But the people out in the yard, they got to put this thing together, and they hate this list. Okay, so what they want to do is they're going to go in and they're going to consolidate all like items. Okay, all right, so what we want to do is go up to return and go to the poll list. The poll list then consolidates all like items, and you can print that out. Now just remember, it's only stock items. So if it's a special order item, those are all put together on our special order sheet. So everything earmarked special order will show up on here. All right, we can go to return. We also take the steel and we put it on its own order form. It'll show up on the special order, but we can go here and see the tally for each metal piece showing in feet and inches, just the way the roll former wants to see it, along with their item numbers and the fasteners, and who the customer is, and so on. Now, notice when you go up to return and you go to steel, there are quite a few other things to look at. So if you're on anything in steel, like we are right now, you can go to what's called related items. When you go to related items, you can go and see any reports that we've created. Okay. By the way, we have the component drawings and isometric application details from the metal companies, built right into the system, the ones that you see right in their catalog. And I can look at the panel layouts. So we draw the panel layouts, and they're all labeled. Now notice here too that we have a note down here telling us to shift the vertical starting point of the first panel to 1.5 inches. So that vertical starting point, the one running up and down, we need to shift it horizontally 1.5 inches from the outside corner of the building, because there would be a rib conflict down here on the other end. Now, if you've ever built before, oh my goodness, when you see a rib conflict, let me show you what it looks like. How close you can be to having a rib conflict, I should say. I don't want to show you an actual picture of that. We're going to go to metal trims right here, and I can show you a really interesting picture. If I go down to, let's see here, where is one? We saw rib conflict on the corner, very close, right here. Look at how close this was. Now, this building had an overhang all the way around it. Look how close we got. We lucked out on that one, okay? However, on that 40-foot building, if we'd have started from the left end and worked our way across, that rib would end up right here where that trim's supposed to be, which would really be a problem because you won't be able to take that trim and tuck it up inside the F and J, or the F channel. Not the F channel, but the J channel that butts up to the F channel. You wouldn't be able to tuck it in there because it's on top of a rib. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. And so the panel layout helps us from making those types of mistakes. Okay. All right, we have a steel report. So if we take a look at like panel number 7 right here, if we look at it on the steel report, we scroll down to gable side 1. Notice we've got some additional information here. If you just looked at this report, you'd be like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But if you then printed this panel detail, now it all makes sense. You'll see the numbers that we're showing now and comparing those to the steel report, and it'll make sense. Okay. Now that steel report too, we show you, we got a wealth of information here. We show each panel. So panel number 5 on the gable end on side 1 was ordered 253 inches long, but the actual cuts for that are 237 1/8 on the outside edge of that classic rear panel to the opposite side, 249 7/8. Now we're going outside edge to outside edge, not rib to rib. Okay. So we got a wealth of information there. We've got the pole layout. So if we look at the pole layout, we have a field usable drawing. We show the diagonal. We have the layout for this particular match pole to truss style building. And we're going to go in there and we're going to look at also the frame views. So if I go to building frame, we look at gable side 1, you'll see that shading we were talking about, light, dark, light, dark. It amplifies where the seams are at. And if you notice, if I blow this up a little bit for you, you'll see it's showing the size of the lumber that we calculated to go there. And we also have the dimensions for where all of the girts land. Okay? And the related items, we can see E1, we can see E2. There's that header at the roof line, the LVL. And we also had a header down here at the door opening, the non-bearing 2x6, 2x12 header. Okay? And remember, this one up here is an advanced when you're adding the door. Here's your purlin layout on the roof. Look at there. See, they're overlapping each other. It's very similar to this one here. If you look at the training pictures and we go to purlins, there we are. If we go to, yeah, look at here. Look at this picture right here. See how the the purlins overlap each other? This is a 9-foot wide. The one we did was an 8-foot wide, so they're not quite as overlapped as far as they would be on an A, but using similar material. Okay. All right. So if I want to go into, let's see, a return and look at a cross section of the building, okay, we have call outs. There's your cross section. Now, this is S1, section 1. If you notice on the pole layout, we have the call outs for S1 and S2, okay? So you go to return to details and you can look at those. All right, we can also look at the header detail. Now notice one of those was mounted to the outside of the post because we chose back jam to go on it. But that other header, we didn't choose back jam, so see how it gets inset? I wanted to show you the difference between the two of those. Okay, and then we can look at the final elevations. They print 1,200 dots per square inch. Beautiful, beautiful color drawings, or black and white for that matter. Now we do a couple of 3D views. In the 3D views that we do, we zoom out, we can see it like so, okay? Now, we also have a module called Maestro 360, and you might want to watch the video on Maestro 360 because Maestro 360 will take this drawing, well, I shouldn't say this drawing, it'll take the data from Maestro, we enter it into SketchUp, and it automates building a 3D model of this particular building in SketchUp. And so you can turn the building, walk around it, and so on. But that is for SketchUp users, okay? And where you'd see that is right here on the quotation page. You'd go to Maestro 360, and you can select how many drawings, how many angles from SketchUp you want to replace these two drawings with. I'd show you, but we're going to do that in a separate video, okay? We'll cancel that for now. Now, we can return back to miscellaneous. Remember that job notes we were talking about? When you click on it, anything that you had said will show up here. Now, also, I want you to know there's a disclaimer in here, okay, saying that, hey, this is just an estimate, that the builder is responsible for making sure they have enough material, blah, 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 all the legal jargon, okay? And that's not only on that one, but it'll show up on your cover sheet, and it'll also show up on your, let's see, your job notes, which we just looked at. Site plan, this is a nice little grid. So if a user is building a pole barn for themselves, and they've never been to a municipality where they need to get a zoning or a building permit, well, now you're helping them get prepared for that. So you can print this off and give them this grid, and then they can go and do their homework before they actually go try to pull a permit. They can answer some information, make sure they bring their legal description with them, what the building is zoned, the residential area, you know, what is the zoning in the area, they want to select that, the address of the property, and then just sketch out a little grid on using the grid. Use the blocks, what one block represents how many feet. You can just draw your house and draw the pole barn where it's going to go, label the northeast, west, south, and just have some stuff done before you get there. Okay? So you can print that out for your customer. Now, there are some other tools here that you may not see on yours, like this copy image to plotter module. That's an added module that we have in the system. You have to have that. It's an add-on, okay? And then multiple plans and drawings, print them or export them. So I'm going to print. I can go in here and select my printer, and you can see the defaults that are automatically selected. If I did not want to show my subtotals on material list, I'd uncheck it, like so, okay? And then you can tell the system what you want to print, and then hit OK and walk away. It'll print a book. Okay? If you want to export these, instead of printing them, you want to send them to a customer, you can come in here and export. You can select all. You can say, I want to create a PDF or an Excel document. So either or. And if you have Google Gmail set up, we can help you get the portal for Gmail set up so that you can send your attached drawings in a Gmail sent right directly through Maestro program instead of having to go in to whatever email program that you use. It'll piggyback on Gmail's delivery system. Okay. Now, we also have some other items in here like Well, remember I added the start and the finish of where the map. So I mean, where the customer's address is and what our address is set up in system operations. So if you went here and went to a map, so like right here, map, create map and driving directions. Notice it's the same address right now. But let's say I had put in my home address, we'll say. And you hit create, it's going to come in here and automatically go, as long as you have an internet connection, and it'll automatically go to the address. Start out, you see them 12 miles from home, and gives you a map and driving directions right to your job site. Okay? All right, so that happens automatically as well. I think this is about covers what we're trying to do right now. We do have a create point of sale file. So if you go up here to material list, if you have a point of sale system that we do business with, you can come in here and hit create point of sale file. Choose your LBM ERP system here. And there's many of them that we do business with. And then, for instance, if you used Epicor Eagle, it's going to create an estimate number 148.txt and dump it where it needs to go so that Eagle can import it. And then you would go to that path, 148.txt, pull it up in Eagle, and it will automatically send all of your stock stuff, so you don't have to key it in. Okay? But you have to have an extra key turned on in order for that to work. It's called this is all caps, ESTU. So Echo Sierra, ESTU, Echo Sierra Tango Uniform, ESTU. Okay, it's a key that Epicor has to turn on. All right, and of course it's not free. Okay, so I think we've covered what we need to cover. And I'm going to go back to the main menu. So I hit return back to the main menu. That takes you right back to here again. Okay, so if you wanted to make a change, or you wanted to print, or you wanted to change something in the estimate, you would, if you're just going to print it, you go to estimate history. And when you go to estimate history, you can select that estimate and then just hit estimate plans. And it'll go through the process, creating it all, and then you can print what you want to print. If you want to make a change, you go to post frame kit. And you go to estimate, and then we're going to hit migrate. So estimate 148, you hit next. See, it loads my estimate right back up again. So if you want to change something, you go right ahead and then run through it again, hit finish, and you're on your way. Okay? So that's it. I hope that's very helpful, this particular video, in showing you how to create a pole barn. So anyways, thank you for watching, and keep an eye out for future videos, and thank you for being a customer. We appreciate you. You have a great day. We'll see you. Bye-bye.